I'd like to introduce you to, I don't think she needs any introduction, but she is the visionaire extraordinaire and certainly the mastermind behind today and this whole initiative, the founder of W Suite, the CEO of Brand Fusion, and as you know, a very familiar TV personality, Katie Mohammed.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is such an important part of our journey when we talk about how women support each other. And one of the main reasons that I'm here is, I must say, the support of people like Nicola from the JSC, Zanele from the JSC, Cleola from the JSC. So when I talk about having a seat at the table, I continue to have a seat at the table, but I have a seat at their table. So firstly, I'd like to just, thank you guys for hosting us today. I went to an African Dialogue Women's Summit 2 weeks ago. And I tried to Google this, but I never found this. But somebody said this. One of the African women said this: if the wise do not teach the young, the village fools will teach us. And I think around the world at the moment, that's exactly what is happening. So for me is any person that has a vision or a purpose, if we don't have that, we kind of get lost in the crowd. Because also there's always this constant noise and chaos that we talk about. We sometimes don't know where we are and where we're going to. So for me, as a couple of months ago, I decided, how is it that I can find a seat at the table for other women? And I'm very intentional about the fact is that this seat at the table cannot be women only talking to women. It needs to have men at the table. So thank you all the guys here that are also our allies. Simply, our vision at W Suite was to make room for women, more women at the table, by driving the acceleration of women leaders in positions of power and influence, and co-create a new culture of leadership that is inclusive and drives meaningful participation of women in the development of thriving economies. Because if we do this, we're going to create a strong female economy, and we know that women leaders will create great nations. And I often talk about how amazing the Prime Minister of New Zealand is, and how she leads with her heart. So taking the lead and making the shift starts with us reimagining this vocabulary of how we want this new nation to be, how we want this new world to be. So for me, is how do we find these opportunities, these challenges, and move forward with them? And the way we do is how do we get a seat at the table and pull up chairs for others? Because this is exactly what we're doing now. How can we move together in solidarity? It's exactly what we're doing now. And how do we engage and accelerate and inspire? And you'll see that today, amongst everything that we all need to do, is we need to inspire each other, because I think life happens and we get up every day to say, who's going to inspire us? And we realize if it's not me, then who? We need to increase the number of women in senior leaderships, especially in operating roles and in the C-suite. We need to have the exchange of best practices and knowledge, and that's why we are here as well. We need to break the cycle of underrepresenting. But how are we going to do this if we're not sitting at each other's table? The one most important part for me is how do we establish mentorship programs, and how do we establish sponsorship programs? Because we can talk the talk, but how do we accelerate this agenda? I went to a summit last year with Jack Ma, and the one thing that stood out for me, being a global entrepreneur, he said to me, entrepreneurs are your country's heroes. And if you look at the high rate of unemployment in this country, we are the heroes of this country. I often talk about, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And how when we collaborate, instead of competing with each other, how we can have successful business relationships. And it's called power of the pack. When we stand together with each other, it's like any Marvel movie. Everyone individually is powerful, but coming together, power of the pack. And then I often talk about, as women, when we naturally care, when we are in solidarity, when we connect networks, when we have access to each other, when we have access to people like our mentors that are here together, that means we have a fair share at the seat of the table. And for me, my mission as the founder of W Suite is to ensure that there's always people that have a seat at the W Suite table. For me, this is a true reward, because when you try and create a movement, you know that when you look around a room like this, you walk away feeling good, it feeds your soul, you honor the people that have chosen to spend time with you. Because in that way, we could actually measure this movement. I often talk about collecting the good people. You know, Basisana Kumala is a dear friend of mine. And I often say, I used to say to her, I said, you know, over the years, I don't know whether I'm blessed or I'm lucky. You know, Robin Sharma says, you're not lucky, you make lucky. Basisana Kumala said to me once, is when I did say to her about collecting the good people, she says, baby girl, you are good people. And for me, as I urge every one of you to be good people, because through being good people, you meet other good people and you foster great social and business relationships. I always say it's like when you're around good people, you walk into a perfumery or a perfume store. You don't have to buy it, but when you leave there, you still feel that fragrance, you sense that fragrance. And that is what good people will do to you in a business and a social section, which leads me to always talk about the 5 people that I like to hang out with. I always like to hang out with inspired people. These are good people. They challenge you. They encourage you. They encourage you to be more, to do more, and also lead a high-quality life. The motivated. They say you must choose these people wisely. These people are always, they have an infectious zest for life. They're always focused, and they dream big. The open-minded. It is so important for us to sit around people that are open-minded, that are not judging you, because then they teach you to lead with authenticity, intent, and purpose. Passionate. These people have the most amazing energies, and they're so contagious. They actually nourish your soul. They can put the magic into your madness. And the grateful. We always talk about the negative stuff, but sometimes we need to hang around people that show you how to be grateful during the positive and the negative opportunities and the challenges in your life, because everything is a lesson. Today I would like to share with you my story. And the one thing that I've found through my journey as an entrepreneur is that we need to discover our way through our heroes and sheroes, our role models, and our mentors. Because I think there's a defining factor. People are like, oh, do you want to be my mentor? You know, this is my role model, and these are my heroes. I think we need to actually fine-tune what that is. And for me, my journey is always, I've discovered my way through these people. When I talk about heroes, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something more than oneself. And this is what Joseph Campbell said many years ago. These are, for me, are women who have created an impact in the world. You know, for me, it's like Wonder Woman. She has a clear line of humanity, compassion, warrior strength. That, for me, is the hero. But also she has integrity. She stands for the symbol of integrity. And I'm going to take you through my heroes. My heroes are people like Marie Curie, Rosa Parks, Queen Elizabeth, Miriam Makeba, and Mother Teresa. For me, these people have made an impact. When you listen to their journeys, when you've seen what they have done, they have made an impact to humanity. And which takes me to role models. There's no greater pillar of stability than a strong, free, and educated women. And there's no more inspiring role model than a man who respects and cherishes women and champions their leadership. And that is Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie also had a journey from what we knew her as an actor, as an actress, to be a philanthropist. So we kind of design our life. We design our own life. For me, these are inspiring women. They are remarkable women who have had a positive impact on others. They have showed passion in what they do. And they have clear sets of values. And they also demonstrate confidence and leadership. For me, these are my role models. My role models come in Maya Angelou. My role models come in Oprah. They come in Malala Yousafzai. Yes, she's much younger than I. Audrey Hepburn. And locally, Basisana Kumalo. And then we go to talk about a mentor. A mentor is someone who allows you to see your hope inside yourself. And this is what Oprah says. I've had one mentor in my life. My mentor is Mambesi Tugwane from the SABC. I spent 4 years being mentored by this woman. And she's the one that literally called me in a room one day and said, can you stop acting like an angry black girl? Because everything is defensive, everything is an attack. You feel that the world is against you. And 4 years later, I sat back when I left that position, and I said to her, I'm so grateful. I had a conversation with her the other day, and she would have loved to have been here. And she said to me, she's so proud of the woman that I have become, because she remembers. Because, when we are much younger, we think everything is happening to us. We have this level of ego and arrogance that goes with it. And years later, as you get older, some of the youngsters that are here call me elders, the elders. You realize that, hey, you were egotistical, you were arrogant. And for me, this woman took me aside and literally told me about how to talk to people, how to deal with meetings, how to have an attitude that is always positive. Through this women, I remember the 3rd years into my mentorship, and I know that I see some of my mentors that are here that have spent my journey with me, which is especially Mate. We've all spent the most amazing time with this woman. She stood up at the SABC board, and she made me stand up and acknowledge my journey as part of the SABC, because I was a high flyer at that time. But for me, you cannot get any better when your mentor acknowledges you on such another level. Throughout the years, I still have a coffee with Mambesi. And on Thursday last week, I had a call with her. And I said to her, I'm so sad that she's not here. And the one thing that I said to her, and I'm going to try and pronounce this properly. I know my friend Manini is here. Umuntu Ngumuntu Agabantu. I am because you are. So for me, as I leave my journey about role models, heroes, and mentors, I want to find out from you, who are your role models, who are your heroes, and who are your mentors? I know I'm a hero. I always say I popped up 3 babies. I am a hero. I'm actually a superhero. I am a role model. I know that I'm a role model to a lot of women out there. And I'm a mentor. I see some of my mentees that are here as well. So for me, I know I've created a legacy. I want to know from you guys, when you leave this room, what kind of legacy that you want to change. Thank you.